Okay, so you should be able to justify why you have a year gap. You can tell them that you were preparing for the exams, or
Yes.
you participated in a family business, or uh, you were doing some kind of a training, skill development. But at least know what they are looking at
Yes,
is
sir.
that
I have done a training skill development in J Spiders Bangalore, but I started it in 2023 March because before that I was waiting for the call.
exactly say the same thing. No? Very very clearly, you say this. You don't have to. Um, Vivek, you don't have to mince your words, right? So you can tell them that you can tell them that I got an offer letter. I completed my BTech and I got an offer letter. After that, they did send me the joining letter. I was waiting for that, and when they did not, then I went ahead and I started with my uh, no, I started my skill development, which you say you did in 23. You can say that. And also, I was preparing for the exams. So you can say that. Got it. So they want to see that you were, in all that time which you had, you were not just sitting idle, doing nothing, no, not trying to even develop yourself or add to your skills.
Sir,
Come on.
sorry, I got disconnected. Sir, I got
Yeah.
disconnected.
Okay. No, what I said is they should feel that you were not just wasting your time, you were doing something and you were trying to develop some skills or something, because they don't want to feel that you were simply wasting your time and doing nothing, or you are not adding anything to your profile. They want to see someone who is serious about it, and because he's serious about what he wants to do, so accordingly he was like carrying out different activities and he was serious about it. So that's why if even if you have got 2 years of a gap between your academics and your interview, the panel will not have a problem if you can justify it. Because they are out to look at different aspect of your personality. The academics have been tested because they have conducted the entrance, you have scored well, so that's why you're in the interview hall. Now they want to see the other side of your personality. So they would be looking at like what all skill sets you have, what all experiences, life experiences you have, all those kind of things they want to now look at. So a gap, if you have 1 or 2 years, that will not at all be going against you if you are able to justify what you did during that.
Sir,
Amile. And it is always better that you say what the fact is. The moment you try to bluff, you try to say things which are not relevant, or you try to say things which you cannot properly justify. So then the nervousness sets in, and it is visible on your face that you have become uncomfortable. There will be a lot of body language changes. We can see the stress which is on your face. You will be shifting uncomfortably in your chair. You know there will be a change in your tonal quality. All that will start getting visible the moment you are under stress, and you will be under stress when you know that you are, whatever you are saying is not genuine, right?
sir,
What else?
along with the course, I have also participated in my I'm passionate about stand-up comedy.
Mhm.
So I have done shows in 2022. Also, I did a few shows in 2024, as well as I created a platform so that my native people can also pursue it. So this is, and also in 2023, I joined a skill-based course of Java full stack in Bangalore, and
Because
along
you
with
tell
that,
me,
I prepared for CAT.
that's what I said. No, if you can justify that all that time that you had with you were busy doing something, and all this kind of comedy and try to create a platform and all those, all in fact adds to your profile. That's what I was mentioning the last time. Do sit down and write down, right from school days till date, what all you have done, every small bit of thing. Every little bit of thing that you have done, you have contributed towards a school, you have contributed to a college, you have contributed towards a society. List down. Don't think, should I write this or shouldn't I write it? Anything randomly that comes to your mind, list it down. Then after that, you can create a very strong profile for yourself. When you're writing your SOP also, very important. You're writing your SOP, the first video we discussed about it. And then in your introduction, when they ask you the first question, which we discussed in the last video, tell me something about you, or please take us through your CV, and all those kind of questions. When they ask you, you will be able to justify that or do it in the right. So don't be worried. Don't try to bluff. Be very straightforward and upcoming about whatever you have. Be very open about it. Don't try to mince your words. Don't try to have ifs and buts in your mind. You have something good, say it here. इतना सोचना क्या है? And you are doing something good. That's all. Be it stand-up comedy, creating platforms, learning full stack Java and all that. It doesn't. It adds, in fact. It in fact adds to your profile. Am I clear now? Vivek?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So we were discussing about how we should introduce yourself, and I told you that sit down and write things about yourself. So you should. I just was jotting down certain things which I thought I will see, even I do that, no, jotting down and all that, so that when I talk to you, I will be able to tell you more about it. Obviously, the prepare. You should be have a knowledge about yourself, and in the knowledge about yourself, you should be able to answer few questions which you will be asked on your graduation subject. There will be at least 3 or 4 questions on whatever you have on your graduation subject. So identify 1 or 2 topics, subjects you can say, which you are confident in, those subjects which are areas you are good enough, or you were confident, where you know that you can speak well. If at all some question is asked to you from those areas, so you can speak well. So prepare those topics very well, and whatever you prepare, that is a standard for any interview you go, my dear friends. Whatever they ask you, they will go into the depth of it in order to check, do you have just a very superficial knowledge or you have a depth on what you are saying. So whatever you prepare, whatever subject you prepare, and obviously, as I was saying in the last video, the baiting technique that you use, the baiting technique that I was mentioning, that in an answer you want them to ask you question on say stock market. So in your previous answer, you have to say something which is related to the stock market or the Sensex or to the BSE or the Nifty. Say some words like this and leave it. So you are confident, you have used those words, knowingly you have used those words. So what the interviewer will do is they will pick up one of these words and start asking you questions. And when they ask you questions, go depth. Give them a very clear, view on that, because you have prepared it very much in advance. You are confident what you are saying. Don't try to. They will try to sometimes a little confuse you. They will try to confuse you. As I said, they might. In the last video, I was talking about that stress interview. Sometimes they conduct. So they might try to put you under little stress by saying, "Are you sure? Is it not this? Or is it not this?" So they will confuse you. If you know that it is 7.2, they will say, Are you sure it's 7.2? It is 4.2, or it is 5.2." So like this, no, they will confuse you. So be very thorough, very sure about what you want to say, and have an in-depth. So that answer that you will be given, the first answer that you will give, which suppose you talk about Sensex and they start asking you on Sensex. So the first answer that you give in that answer, you again add some points, words, jargons, technical words. Again, you know that from there they will ask you a question again. So again, that you have also prepared so that you can go in depth. Once they have asked you 3 questions and you have given them a very satisfactory answer, हो गया, complete. Your graduation subject, whatever you have, is over. And if you're a professional, be very thorough about your work, your competitors, the industry that you belong to, because there will be an industry expert. So he is aware of the industry. So he will you should be able to say more on the industry. You should be able to speak about the current ones, the new kind of technologies or new softwares or new platforms that are being used. You should be adapted because you are a professional, working professional, and you are expected to know more about this because day in day out you were doing that. Got it? So be very thorough about your professional field, whichever you were in. So that's the basic difference as far as the preparations is concerned. Then, whenever you are giving a view or an opinion, they ask you a view. Like, say, for example, as I was mentioning, they might ask you about, say, something politics. They might ask about, say, some kind of a geopolitical issue and all. Remember, your answer has to be moderate. Don't be radical, right? Extreme pe mat jana. They should be eliminated, they should be removed, thrown out, and all those kind of words. Not radical. There has to be a moderate approach. Whatever your reply has to be, whatever your point of view has to be. So try to be moderate in your approach, and don't try to have an extreme view about it. Then as I said, you should not self-contradict. Whatever opinion you have given, you should not be in the next sentences or the other things that you mentioned. There, you should not be self-contradicting yourself. Whatever you mentioned. Again, they might ask your opinion. So don't try to always play safe, right? You don't want to take this side or that side, and you say, sir, both are good. No, if they're asking something, and so, sir, this is also good, that is also good, or sir, we need to also look at the both the aspects. Well, sir, both are correct in their own standpoint or viewpoint. So that is trying to play safe. They are trying to find out, do you have a mind of your own? Do you have an opinion of your own? And whatever opinion you have, you are very clear about that opinion. You know why you are saying that, and you know you're clear about it. You don't have any kind of ambiguity in when you're giving an opinion. So always don't try to play safe. Somewhere where you are not very sure, you can try playing safe. The best thing is if you're not aware about a particular issue or a topic, don't try to say something which you don't know. Be very courteous, very polite, and tell them, well, sir, I don't have much of a knowledge on this, or this is not much of an area of my interest. So I don't have much of an opinion on this. So you can be clear about it. You don't know about it, but you give a comment upon it. So then that might go against you because you don't have a knowledge. You don't have an clear-cut idea about it, but you are ready to jump in and giving opinions and being judgmental. So that's why if you aren't very sure about something, you aren't very clear about something, stay away from giving opinions and be judgmental, right? Um, then always use some polite words in your approach. Be polite. Do not use those kind of words, chill, no, all those kind of words, no words that we normally, yeah, I've heard this. I've heard this. Students not saying yes, but they saying yeah. So never use these kind of these are completely informal languages, informal words. In an interview, you're not supposed to use these kind of words like yeah and words like uh, sir, I was chilling out. No, what were you doing? What normally you do during your vacations and all that? Sir, I chill out. No, 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 these are not the words to be used in an interview. It has to be very, very formal words that you use. You have to be polite. Even if you disagree, there is a way of disagreeing. If you don't agree with their view, they might test you. They might say something which they know that you will not agree. You will disagree. But there is a way of putting it across. Well, sir, I would beg to differ on this. I have a different view on this. I have a different opinion on this, and give your opinion. It's not that you have to always go with the yes one. If you have a view, you have an opinion, please do speak your mind out, and they will appreciate it. They will appreciate it that you are a guy who has an opinion. And there is nothing wrong, right, and all that. It's just an opinion, and you are logically and in a very rational manner, you are trying to get the points of the view across. So that will be appreciated. Nothing to worry or bother about. Don't be sarcastic or cynical about everything. Like if they're talking about some kind of a scheme, policy, or a plan, which you also might be about the new educational policy, or might be about, say, India's growth in the stature, India's growth in its stature in the international arena. So there, you may or may not agree. You may not agree, but whatever. But don't use sarcastic or cynical words. Be moderate always. That is always appreciated in an interview because you don't know the panel member what his view opinion is. If you're sarcastic or you're a little cynical, it might not be taken on a very positive note. So avoid being cynical, sarcastic when you are answering certain questions. Then you should have no in your when you're creating your drawing a picture of yours, a profile of yours. Uh, Try to think of, as I said, you should have if you have internships, nothing like it. As you just heard Vivek mentioning that he has done some stand-up comedy, he has done some courses, he has created some platform. All these are things, no, which adds to your profile. Don't try to hide things, no, imagining that ये कोई काम करने की जरूरत नहीं है. You don't decide. No? वो है लोग सुन रहे हैं तुमको, वो डिसाइड करने के लिए बैठे हैं. यार इंटरव्यू तुम बैठे हो तो उनको डिसाइड कर रहे हो, तुम खुद क्यों डिसाइड कर रहे हो? Say what you have done and just say it out, let them decide, let them understand. Then definitely, if you when you go to the interview, and might be you are called from I am Bangalore, you got a call from I am Calcutta, or Kolko, or you're from this Indore, Rohtak, wherever you got a call. Please note that they are people who want to see how well versed you are about your state. Are you getting the point? You should be well versed about your state. Many of you know few things like Jagannath Temple, and you might be knowing about Central Rice Research Institute, CRRI. You might be a little bit aware of, and all might be out calling your stadium. But try to have a little more of your idea about your state. That this is also very
Like
very
about
relevant.
hockey and all.
Yes, we sponsor it. Might be some kind of new industries which are being set up in your state. Might be your state has got a lot of engineering colleges.
Yes, sir.
It was once an academic hub. Your state was once an academic hub, particularly Bhubaneswar was a academic hub with around more than 40 or 50 engineering colleges. So know a little bit about your state. Your governor might be your education minister, your IT minister. So have a little bit of an idea about it, a bit of an history of your state, a bit of an history of your state also you should know. Even you should know a bit of it about your culture. What is your like food stuff and all the GI tag that your state has, all those GI tags that you have, that about that you should know. Some people might little take an interest in your Puri Jagannath temple and all that. You should be able to tell them some bit of things, interesting facts about them, about it. So there can be a relationship building. So all these things you should start preparing. Then vision, have a vision, have a clear vision. You should know the college from where you are. Um, there is an interview call. Do a little bit of finding about whichever college, because you'll know whichever college you're going for an interview. Please go to the website of that college. Try to find out about the faculty members. Try to find out about their alumni. Try to find out about their industry interface. a bit of this placements and average practices and all that. So do a little bit of finding about the college, because then only you can justify why is it that you are interested in that particular college. So definitely find out about that college, because that gives an idea how interested or eager you are about joining the college. So do that finding. Know the kind of role that you want to finally take up once you are joining a corporate, and what kind of role you want to see. Might be you would be seen as an innovator, you would be seen as a very creative one. You might try to, you might think of, someone who explores newer avenues, newer markets, brings in your um, creativity or leadership into the organization, and thereby uh, trying to grow the organization a little more than, or further grow the organization. So, like this, you should know the role that you want to play, and which is your dream company. This one can be a tricky question. This can be a tricky question. If the interviewer asks you, what is your dream company? And you have no idea, you want to get into, say, for example, the consulting business, and you talk about, say, Hindustan Unilever Limited, or you talk about, say, General Electrics, गड़बड़ हो जाएगा ना? So if you are talking about consulting, then you should know which all companies are there in consulting, and those companies, do they come to the campus of the college that you are sitting for the interview? If you talk about a company where you want to go, and you are sitting, and that company does not visit the campus of that particular college, imagine, how embarrassment, what embarrassment it would be. If you want to go get into the dream company, and the college in which you are, the company does not come to that college for campus, and you have a dream to join that company. So that would be a clear mismatch, and that will show how underprepared you are, how less prepared you are. So be very careful,
Sir,
right?
if in case we don't have a dream company and all of a sudden they would ask this question to us, like
That's
how
why
to tackle
no,
this question, sir?
that's why we are sitting here. Are you sitting in an interview right now? We are sitting
Okay,
here because all this homework you have got to do it. All this homework you have to do.
okay, sir.
You you don't go to the interview, बस ऐसे ही पहुंच गए, देखते हैं जो होगा देखा जाएगा. No, no, no. These are not those kind of interviews. And right from the first video, I'm mentioning that, guys, you need to do a lot of homework. You've got to do a lot of homework about on yourself. You have to work on yourself. You have to, these questions that I'm telling you, you have to, now you know which all things you have with you, you don't have. Like, for example, how do I justify a year gap if I have? Write it down. Think what I can say. Nothing, no bluffing and all those kind of stuff. I'm going to say something which I have actually done, and or what I was doing. Even if, as I mentioned, you had a startup, you planned a startup. I know few students who started off a startup, the kind of this home delivery system and all. They started, and they tried for 1.5 years, could not make it. Then they had one of them who was in touch with me. Then he prepared for the CAT, and he got through the written test, and he was going to the interview. I said, these are all, don't think about the failure story. I will not say, no, no, it is not a failure story. It is that you have that entrepreneurship skill in you, and you have done something, you tried something, it did not work out. Absolutely wonderful, absolutely wonderful. These are the stories that you should be able to tell in the interview. Do you have some engaging story to tell it to the panel members? Or is it that, yes, no, the interview goes? No, no. You never answer questions in yes and no. Even if it is yes, you have to say why yes. If it is no, you have to say why no. It is never a closed-ended one. It is always an open-ended one. It's always open-ended. So never answer questions in an interview with no or yes. That's absolutely not done in interview. If you say yes, why yes? If you say no, why no? This is very, very clear. And then
Excuse
that
me,
is
sir.
how you, please go ahead. You may
Sir,
go ahead.
as I told you that I got the offer letter, but not the call, not the onboarding. So,
Right.
sir, this gives a negative impression about the company.
Don't you know that those who are sitting in the panel, they are aware of it?
Yes,
That
sir,
this
but
call.
if
Huh?
if they ask, then what was the which company or what was the name? So,
Tell
will
them.
it be a right decision to say?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because they are from the industry, they know that this happens. There is an offer letter, but projects don't come, and they don't take you on board. You are on the, or you are working, you are on the bench. All those they are aware. क्यों मैनिपुलेट करना यार, जबरदस्ती का क्यों मैनिपुलेट करना? जो सच है, जो सही है, वो बोलो. And that is what is appreciated. What is right, what is true, say that. Clear? Unnecessarily don't try to manipulate your answers and put yourself into stress. Because the moment you start manipulating, you are stressed. And what is right and what is correct, that also you will not come. And I've always told you that interview room, we call it as a pressure cooker zone, because there's a lot of stress on you. So any kind of manipulations and any kind of colors that you put and go there, it'll all vaporize and you will be black and white. You will be what you are, original. So it is always better to be very to be honest. And when I say honest, you should know how to get that honesty or that opinion, that view that you have, or the point that you have, how to get it across. Even being honest, how to get that point across, that you should be also able to say. Because if you are tomorrow's, top management guys in the organizations, you have to be diplomatic in your approach. You have to know ways to deal with things. You cannot be blunt. You cannot be sharp-tongued. And you should be, as we say, you should learn. सांप भी मरे लाठी भी ना टूटे. Those are the techniques that you have got to know. You'll be top guys in companies, right? So if, you should always know, never try to say it. This was the company. I was given an offer letter, but I was they did not send the joining letter. I was not on board, so I waited, and then I tried to. Uh, I thought of moving on, and rather than keeping on waiting for long. Got it? And when you name the company, that obviously sounds more genuine. And if you have the offer letter also, you can have it with you. If they want to see that, show it to them. The offer letter, nothing wrong in it. Am I clear? Now, second
Yes.
thing which I will mention is this, homework point of view. Please read the certain magazines. I told you, Competition Success Review. I told you that's a magazine which has got lots of news, some in snippets, some exhaustively. You can take the last 2 months of Competition Success Review and go through all the top stories like this COP that we had in Saudi Arabia, might be the G20 which we had in Kashmir, then the Ukraine crisis, then the wheat crisis, energy crisis in Europe because of the Russia-Ukraine war. Then you can mention about this little souring of relationship between Iran and the US, then Israel and Palestine issue. So all these things, no, which will be there in the Competition Success Review magazine. You can find it in the India Today. You can find it in the Outlook. Read that. In the Times of India, even sometimes so they give the debate, means opinion and counter opinion. Those kind of news clips that you find, that will be useful, because when you are reading a opinion and a counter opinion, so you can easily form your view because you know both the sides. When you know both the sides, then to give an opinion, to have in your opinion becomes easy. So read those kind of magazines, newspaper, Hindustan Times. Invest now. You don't have anything else to read, है ना? Cat तो हो गया. अब तो quants नहीं करना है कि DI नहीं करना है कि passages नहीं करना है. So अभी invest your entire day in these kind of magazines. Might be Economic Times, Business Standard. Get a little bit of an idea about it. Economic Times, I suppose, I know it will be for non-commerce student, it will be something very esoteric. But others you can go through, have just a basic idea about the market, about the things and all that. That would be helpful too. Okay. Now, some other general questions which they ask you, as we discussed yesterday. Tell me something about yourself. Take us through your uh, CV. They'll ask you to take you through a CV. They might ask you another little different question like, tell us something about yourself which is not there in the CV. Tell us something about yourself which is not in the CV. Now, the CV, you cannot write some things like, say, I was the captain of my gully cricket team. You might not be, you may not be able to write it on your CV about, say, uh, helping the poor and all during this COVID era. You may not be able to write how you did some kind of a, you were teaching some uh, economically weaker students, you taught them. So some of these kind of things so you might have done, which you cannot obviously write it in a CV, so that you can take them through. Right? What you did during your college days, that is your graduation days in your college, what all things you did, participated activities and all those things. That because whatever you say, that will give the interviewer an idea about your personality, your leadership traits, your organizational ability, your interpersonal skills, your communication skills. All this will be judged basing on what you are saying, what you did during your class 12 and graduation days. All these things will be judged. And once you said that, it becomes very easy to justify that why you want to do an MBA program. Because all this that you will say in tell me something about yourself or let us know about you, whatever you say, that forms the basis because of which you want to get into a management program, because you have certain set of skills, you want to further nurture those skills, you want to further sharpen those skills, and you want to utilize these skills for the organizational benefit, the benefit of the society at large, and for your personal growth. Got it? So be very, very careful about this question. I told in the last video also, this could be the most important question is in the entire interview, because what happens next will depend on the answer that you give for this particular question. So, my friends, be very careful. That's why you need to do your homework, sit down, write, think, write, and read it out, record it, listen to your own self introduction. It should not be more than 30 to 45 seconds. It should not be a long story. Ideally, we keep it around less than around 45 minutes is good enough. 1 minute becomes a little longer. So a 45 seconds one, where you cover the key points which are the most important, because the human mind can concentrate on what you are saying at a stretch without getting distracted for a minute or two. So within that, you have that within that 1 minute or 48 seconds, you have to say everything which is good and important about you. Slowly, as we move towards 1 minute, the attention span starts waning. Waning. Some points which you are saying, they might miss it. But in the first 30 to 48 seconds, whatever you're saying, they are very, very sharp and listening to it very attentively. So try to push in all those things that you actually want to convey to them within that first 45 seconds. That would be it. Okay. Then hobbies. Whenever I've told you, never mention when you're talking about hobbies, say something which involves your creative self or your physical self. If you want love to play cricket or football or badminton, any outdoor games, tell them that. And when you're saying that, if you're telling about cricket, you're telling about football, then remember that you should be able to tell them something. Like if you tell them that, "Sir, I'm passionate about cricket, I love to play cricket, I love to watch cricket," then you should be able to know the cricketing bodies. You should be able to say about BCCI, you should be able to say about ICC, you have to say about the our BCCI board. You should be have a little knowledge about the World Cup and all that, which just went. So जो भी बोल रहे हो उसके बारे में, because you said that, no, you said that you are passionate about it, you said that you are interested about it, and when you are saying that you are interested, you are passionate, and you yourself cannot answer the question, that puts a question mark on your authenticity. So know about whatever you mention, or you can also say something like singing, painting. Even if you're talking about painting, what kind of painting you do, what kind of colors and paints you use. Do you use Indian ink, or you use pastels, or you use oil paint, you use canvas, you go on paper, you do wall painting. So all those kind of things and all you should be. If you're talking about singing, what kind of singing? Are you a classical singer? Do you like to sing modern songs? Do you like to sing bhajans? You are into ghazals? If you're a trained singer, do you have any idea about the different ragas? If you have, you know about a little bit about the tal and all that. If you're a professional singer, so you have that. Be sure these guys are well read. They are well read. They know. ऐसा नहीं कि मैं कुछ बोल दूंगा bluff कर दूंगा. They might not know about it. नहीं, don't take chances, right? So you should, whatever you say, try to justify. So hobbies should not be reading books, listening to music, watching TVs. Don't say it. Watching, reading books, you can say with something where you are involving your creative or the physical self. With that, add reading books is good. Or there is something like playing and all that outdoor activities and all that. With that, listening to music, good enough, right? I listen to music. I sing. I'm a singer also. Good enough. Got it? So that you remember. Well, strengths and weaknesses, they will ask it. Weaknesses, we ideally, when we talk about weakness, we see to it that the weakness that we say, we also have overcome it. We also say that initially it was this, but now I have slowly overcome it by doing this, because you realize there was this realization, and because of that realization, now you have taken steps and you have come out of that weakness. Remember, weakness should not just be said and left. What was the weakness, what steps you took, and how you have come out of it, that you should be able to say. Whenever you are talking about strengths, what is your strength, and why do you say that is your strength? Why do you say, how do you justify that it is your strength? If you just leave it, they will ask you that, well, what makes you think that this is your strength, or you are good in this? They'll ask you. So it is better when you're asking, when you answer about your strength, when you say about your strength and weakness during the CV, when you introduce yourself, never talk about weakness. Let them ask. ये मेरा personal opinion है. You talk about strength and everything, but weakness, I will leave it for them to ask. यार मैं सारा बता दूंगा तो फिर सवाल नहीं होगा उनके पास पूछने के लिए, तो इधर उधर का सवाल पूछेगा, मैं परेशान हो जाऊंगा, है ना? मैं कुछ छोड़ देता हूँ ना, ताकि वो लोग कुछ पूछे, ताकि सेकंड 2 क्वेश्चन हो गया, 3 क्वेश्चन उसी में से निकल जाए, क्योंकि ज्यादा नहीं, दे विल आस्क यू समथिंग अराउंड 7 8 10 क्वेश्चंस, 15 मिनट्स का इंटरव्यू होगा, 15 20 मिनट्स, उससे ज्यादा नहीं. And you will never know how this 15 20 minutes went, because the interaction with them would be very smooth. Okay. Then achievements, as I was mentioning, achievements, it's not necessary that you have own prizes, first prize, second prize, third prize. It is more important that you have participated in a lot of things. You have a range of things you have been doing, you have participated. That is more important. Not that every time, everything that you do, you keep on winning prizes. Eh? Very good. नहीं है, but you have participated, and you had been participating school sports, college sports. You had been participating, but ठीक है यार, नहीं हो पाया मैं हर बार. I could not be the first, second, third. तो मेरे पास सर्टिफिकेट नहीं, but I was a very sports enthusiast, and मैं हर साल स्पोर्ट्स में पार्टिसिपेट करता था, पर्टिकुलरली ट्रैक एंड फील्ड इवेंट्स में हो या तो अदर जैसे कि जैवलिन हुआ, शॉर्ट पुट हुआ, हाई जंप हुआ, ऑल दोज मैं पार्टिसिपेट करता था। और कबड्डी, खो खो एंड ऑल दो, उसमें उस तरह का स्पोर्ट्स में मैं पार्टिसिपेट करता था। तो ऑल दिस नो, कीप प्रिपेयर्ड, एज आई सेड, है तो लोग बहुत लोगों के पास में ये सारा कुछ होगा, बट पॉइंट इज नो, यू नेवर गिव अ थॉट, यू नेवर गिव अ सीरियस थॉट टू इट। दैट्स व्हाई होमवर्क नीड्स टू बी डन। सिट डाउन, शांति से बैठो, सोचो अपने बारे में, फ्रॉम क्लास 8 till from your class school days and till the graduation, और अभी तक whatever you have done, think and एक करके jot down, that will help you. Then as I said, why MBA, and why this college, why MBA you will do, and why this particular college you want to go for. And always when you are introducing or interacting with them, always remember to have your own unique story. कुछ है नहीं, बस it was all normal, मैं कॉलेज स्कूल क्लास 10 आई कंप्लीटेड, उसके बाद मैं +2 गया, +2 पढ़ लिया, फिर उसके बाद मैं यहाँ पे बीटेक कॉलेज में एडमिशन मिल गया, या तो मैं बीकॉम पढ़ने के लिए इंटरेस्टेड था, वहां चला गया, फिर बीकॉम कंप्लीट कर लिया। दैट्स ऑल, नथिंग स्पेशल अबाउट मी। नहीं, बहुत घिसा पिटा है, बहुत बोरिंग, मोनोटोनस। Think, create your own story. That your story is unique to you. No two persons can be the same. No two persons can have the same story. You have a different story, and the next one has got different story. So have your own story, right? No, then you have then other questions that they will ask you for during the first is, tell me, we have done that. Then achievements in life, what all things you have achieved in life, they might ask you that question. And as I said, what all things you have done. Uh, think of what all things you have achieved. As I said, few you could get certificates and all that, you could win competitions. Few you do not, but you have gone for it, you've tried it, and all. Then your goals in life. What is that? What is that ultimate goal in life? No, not being a CEO is not a goal in life. Your goal in life is to how you are going to contribute towards the society, how you plan to contribute towards the society, and how, what are the plan, how do you want to proceed, how do you want to go from step to step, and by which you will be able to contribute towards the society. So that is very important. You should be, you know, what are goals in your life. Goals in your life is not earning lots of money. Goals in your life is not to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Goals in your life is not to have a sea facing bungalow in some on some island with a private yacht. No, these are not goals in life, right? So you should have a ideally we say something which by which you will be able to contribute towards the society, and how you plan to achieve your goal. That is very important. How you plan to achieve your goal, not just having a goal, but how have you planned, or what are your plans, that this is way I will move, or this is the way I will proceed, and that's how I will achieve my goals in life. Then a very important question is role model. यार इसका ना एक बहुत ही वेग आंसर होता है। आई से वेग क्योंकि यहाँ पे द इंटरव्यू इज अ डिफरेंट प्रोसेस। So saying that who's your role model, my father, my mother, well, ठीक है यार, we are Indians and we have our own emotions in its place. But यहाँ पे role model, no, we are talking about someone whom you want to emulate in order to achieve something big in life, right? Well, if your father has got a unique story, that rags to riches wala story, coming from a very humble background or from a very humble place, and then carving out a place for himself there, with no godfathers to push him, help him, and then he has carved out a place for himself, and you have he has a business, or an industry with a turnover of some 50 100 crores. How he achieved it, mind you have that story. That's what is happening, the unique story you have, that you of course you can say. But ideally, If it is not like it's just a normal one, then ideally your role model should be someone whom you know in the society. Might be someone like Narayan Murthy, might be someone like Elon Musk, might be someone like Bill Gates, might be someone like apna the Tim Cook, might be someone, no, or anyone. I just said few names. I just said few names. You have your own names whom you would like to emulate. It might be Dhoni also. Why Dhoni? You should be able to say what are, how his managerial skills are, how he manages his team, how he's an excellent communicator, how he has a vision, how he has got a forthrightedness. So you know whom. So definitely prepare this question: who's a role model and why he is a role model? What is it that is in him which attracts you or which you want to emulate? So role model. Prepare this answer. Then why? Because many of our friends here, they want to get into, they have calls from, some have got from this Great Lakes College, some have got calls from some, IIMS also Caps College. So remember, whenever you are preparing for the interview, you should go through that website of that college, do a little fact-finding research about the college for where you are going for the interview. जिस कॉलेज के इंटरव्यू के लिए बैठोगे उसके बारे में definitely you should have, and don't have vague answers. Don't talk about it has got a big library, it has got a big wide campus, it has got a lush green campus. यार ये सब नहीं होता है. You are not going to for a lush green campus. You are not going there for the cafeteria or the library. You are going there because that is going to help you in enhancing your knowledge, by which you will be able to achieve your ultimate goal in life. What are the different societies the college has, which polishes, which nurtures the different skills of a student? You can talk about the cell, the placement cell or the industry cell, which helps you to get into some good internships and do your internships. So do some fact finding. Who are the alumni of that? So this college has been able to create industry leaders by its academic prowess, by its faculty strength. It has been able to create industry leaders. So do some fact finding about that college and jot it down. Strength and weakness. Well, I have mentioned about what you will say about their strength and weakness. As I said, weakness should be something which you should not be mm, uh, saying it until unless they ask you what your weakness is. Don't talk about your weakness beforehand. Well, few more questions. I will definitely take your questions once yeah, I have the set of questions which I have, that once I've told you. Why I'm telling you all this, my friends, this needs to be prepared beforehand. Suddenly in the interview hall, you will be caught off guard. बहुत परेशान हो जाओगे. You will mumble, you will fumble for words and all, and you will go under stress. Normal answers भी याद नहीं आएंगे. So वहां पे it is, that's why I'm telling you all this, you should be prepared. Now a question can be, uh, uh, tell us about a challenging situation or a challenge that you faced in the last few years, and how did you overcome it and what was the learning. अब सोच के देखो, इंटरव्यू हॉल में तुम बैठ के नो इंटरव्यू हॉल के छत के तरफ देख के 5 मिनट बैठ के सोचोगे कि लास्ट 5 7 ईयर्स में क्या चैलेंजेस मैं फेस किया और उसको मैं कैसे ओवरकम किया, मेरा लर्निंग क्या हुआ. माय गॉड, नो. So all this question, what hardships? I was compiling all those. They ask you any hardship. Tell us about any hardship that you faced and how you were able to overcome it, and what was the lesson or what was the learning from this, from by overcoming this challenge. What was the learning that you had? So that they'll ask you, or they might ask you like any kind of a conflict conflicting situation that you face, any kind of a conflicting situation you face, where you were in a kind of a dilemma, what to do and not to do, and uh, mm, how you overcame that contradicting or conflicting situation that you faced, how you overcame it. So think of it कि क्या होगा, कुछ ना कुछ होगा. But if you're at a workplace, so you will have many such stories. And if you're a fresher, you might have during your course of your college studies, you might have such kind of, or might be in the social sphere also, you might have faced some kind of challenges and hardships, and those hardships, how you overcame it, and what was the learning that you got. Then another question is they will ask you, tell us something about you because of which we should select you and not the other candidates. This is a double-edged sword. ये दोहरा, दो धार वाला छुरी है. Don't start bad mouthing anyone. There's a question to check your attitude. There's a question to check your attitude. So do not neglect the second part of the question. Why you are better than the other candidates? Other candidates don't know why you are better. Focus on that. Why we should select you and not your other candidates who came before you. Not other candidates को छोड़ दो. Why we should select you? Focus on only that. Don't start bad mouthing anyone in the interview. Right? Strength and weakness question they will camouflage and ask you guys. Be very careful. They will camouflage the strength and weakness question. कैसे weakness question पूछेंगे? Well, tell us two things which you personally feel that you need to work upon to further improve yourself. Look at this. Two things which you feel that you should further work upon yourself to make you better, yourself better. Or tell us two things about you which your friends say that you need to work upon to become a better human being. Or two things which they say that you lack and you need to develop that. So this is a weakness question. Be careful, right? And the strength question they will also ask you the same way. Tell us two things which attracts your friends to you, towards you. Tell us two things which your friends appreciate in you. All these questions are strength and weaknesses questions. Be careful when these kind of questions are asked, right? Because same question, like parroting, the panel members don't like parroting the same question to every candidate. So they will, the same question, they will only present in different ways. So be careful, listen carefully. Your oral and oral skills has to be very, very strong. Never ever jump in. How do I approach a question? When a question has been asked, how do I answer the question? तीन situation हो सकते हैं. There can be three situations where the question is asked. One, I know the answer completely, nicely, wonderfully. बहुत अच्छे तरीके से आता है, very excited. Second situation can be I know the answer partially, पूरा तो मुझे मालूम नहीं है. Third situation can be that I don't know the answer at all. अब ये तीनों situation इंटरव्यू में हो सकता है. How do I handle those things? पहला situation. When they ask you the question, the question they're asking you. Remember, you have to have this look on your face when a question is being asked. Means your eyes focused on them, and with a normal one, you're looking at them. You're listening to them. You're listening to them. But when they're not asking question and they're looking at the CV, you are looking in that direction and you are relaxed and you're nodding your head. You're looking at them. You're just looking at them with a smile on your face. The moment one of the panel members lifts his head, he sees that you're looking at him, and the moment he starts with a question, your face, that smile that you had, it should come down. Means you are very intently, you are looking at him, look into his eyes and listen to him. Now he has finished answering the question. Don't get excited because you know the answer, so you tend to get excited to I'll jump in and answer. No, wait. He might have asked the first part of the question, he might be asking the second part of the question. Until and unless he has asked the complete question, do not jump in with your answer. Once you ask the question, then he says, okay, tell us. Yes, sir. Take off your eye contact. Take off your eye contact. One, two, three. Sir, and answer. It means you are a good listener. See how you non-verbally communicate. How non-verbally you communicate. Look at this. Any interview, I'm not just talking about I am said. I'm talking about any interview that you go in for, my friends. Any interview that you go for, you have to exhibit all the skills of yours. Your oral skills means the communication skills. Every interviewer tries to judge a candidate on two parameters. First, HR, that is your communication, and second is your attitude. These two are the most important, be it from the civil services to any interview. They will first check your communication skill and then your attitude as far as HR interviews concerned. So when it comes to communication, it has to be your oral skills and your oral skills. So first, it is oral, you listen carefully and then you answer. Now that is when you know the answer, you are excited about it, you want to answer, थोड़ा सा सांस लो, take 3 seconds pause. So you are telling them that you were not thinking of the answer when they were asking you the question. You were only focused on the question. And after listening to the question, you took a pause of 3 seconds. Then you thought about the answer. And now you have started answering. Never to speak too fast in an interview. It is a sign of a nervous speaker who speaks very fast. A confident speaker will always speak in a very, very normal pace, neither too slow nor too fast. Watch out for your pace, pause, and rhythm. Watch out when you are speaking, watch out for your pace, the pause that you give, and the rhythm in which you speak. These three things, be very careful. Then, second situation, when you know the answer partially and not completely, then what you do? Again, the same thing. You take off your eye contact. One, two, three, four. You now know that you know the answer completely. So again, maintain an eye contact. This is, sir. I know the answer partially. Uh, I'm not. I cannot recollect the answer completely. Can I answer the question? Be very smart. Be very smart, right? To say this. Sorry, sir. I'm unable to recollect. I don't know. Don't say that I don't know. ये बहुत ही blunt हो जाता है. Normally I don't prefer that kind of a blunt. I don't know. So I usually say, sir, I'm unable to right now unable to recollect the answer. I know it partially. So with your kind permission, may I answer the question? No interviewer will ever discourage you. Take my word for it. Take my word for it because I've done a lot of this interviews and all that. Let me tell you. No interviewer will ever discourage you from answering. They'll always say, yeah, please go ahead, please go ahead. Let's see what you do. So then you answer the question and stop till where you are sure. From where you are unsure, stop before that. Then they'll tell you, yeah, you are right, right. Continue. Let's see what you know. Uh, Go ahead. So that after that, whatever you say, they will consider it because you had already confessed that you are not completely aware. So after that, if they are saying, please go ahead, let's see what you know. Then if there is some kind of a flaw in that, that will not go amiss. Okay? That is when you know the answer partially. Now, when you don't know the answer at all, मुझे बिल्कुल मालूम ही नहीं. If it is related to the academics, if the question is related to the academics, you can always say, I'm sorry, sir. Again, same. Take off your eye contacts. One, two, three, four, five. I'm sorry, sir. I'm unable to recollect that answer right now. And it is perfectly normal because you read it might be in the second year, might be you read it in the first year, might be after that you have been, there's a year or two gap also. So there's always a possibility that it might have slipped out of your mind. But as I said, be prepared on the subject which you are confident. Whichever subject you are sure, you are confident, be prepared, go prepared. Because you understand, for every answer, you cannot keep on saying, I'm sorry, sir, I'm sorry, sir, I'm sorry, sir. You cannot say. Ideally, we say that you should be able to answer 60% of questions properly. 60%. 10 question पूछे, छह क्वेश्चन तो एटलीस्ट you should be able to answer it us convincingly and properly, not bluffing. छह क्वेश्चन का आंसर एकदम सही तरीके से दे पाए हो एंड अच्छे से दे पाए हो, that is a positive. Clear? So three situations, as I told you, if you know the answer completely, if you know the answer partially, and if you do not know the answer. If it is something related to the current affairs and all that, then you might say, I'm sorry, sir, I'm not aware of it. Right? I am not aware of it. You might say. Possible नहीं है कि जितना करंट अफेयर्स है हर चीज के बारे में जानते हो, नॉट पॉसिबल. जानते हो तो यार दैट इज द रिक्वायरमेंट, यस डेफिनेटली दैट्स द रिक्वायरमेंट. नहीं जानते हो, यू कैन से आई एम सॉरी सर, आई एम अनेबल टू, I'm not aware of it. But when it comes to some kind of academic questions and all, you can always say, I'm sorry, sir, I'm unable to recollect. यार बीटेक में अराउंड 48, 50, 52 पेपर्स होता है फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर से 8th सेमेस्टर. नॉट पॉसिबल ना पूरा 48, 50 पेपर्स क्वेश्चंस को याद रखें. So they also understand it. They are professors. They are professors, and they understand it. Then, as I said, then yeah. Now, how can you be, or what makes you feel that you can be an asset for the college? Means what is that skill set that you have, or what is that is unique in you by which you can be an asset for the college? So think of all the qualities, managerial skills, all the skills that you have, which you can utilize in the college campus to further enhance it, develop it, and develop it under the guidance of your professors and seniors. Under the able guidance of your professors and seniors, you will be able to develop it, sharpen it, and use it for bringing name and name and fame for the college, or might be to make the college campus a little better, uh, little better. So something like this you should think of when it comes to why do you say or what makes you feel that you can be an asset, how you can be an asset for this college. ठीक है, ये और एक question. Then, yeah, this is a very typical question for working professionals. They will say, uh, do you believe in ethics? Right? Obviously, you will not say no. So, are you ethical? They'll say, you'll say, of course, you'll say yes. Then they'll ask you, uh, would you lie on behalf of your company? आप फंसोगे. The question is, no, are you ready to lie on behalf of your company? Now, you have said you're ethical. Now they're asking you that would you lie for the company? हाँ बोलोगे तो फंसोगे, ना बोलोगे तो फंसोगे. हाँ मैं इसलिए नहीं बोल सकता because I said I'm ethical. और ना मैं नहीं बोल सकता because no, I cannot say I'll not lie on the behalf of the company because you're working for them. You're working for them, and you have to be very, very practical, pragmatic. You have to be very pragmatic. You just cannot be emotional. You cannot give an emotional. No, I maintain my ethics. I will not tell a lie. कुछ भी हो जाए, गर्दन कट जाए. You cannot say all this. So that's a question they normally ask to working professionals. Even to the freshers, they might ask. So guys, be prepared for it. Any kind of an ethical dilemma that you have faced in your in the last 5, 7, 10 years, and how did you deal with the situation? How did you deal with the situation? They will ask you this. So ethical dilemma is this, no, like something you know is not right, but you have got to do it. For example, no, someone has sought asylum in you. When some people will looking for a person to assault him, that person, and he's hiding, and you have seen it, and he has pleaded with you that please don't tell that I'm here. Now then they come and what do you say? You tell a truth and kill that person. They might assault him. They will resort to violence. He might also get killed in an accident. So then what do? यार मेरे को तो सच बोलना था, मैं वेरी एथिकल, चाहे मर जाए मगर मैं सच बोलूंगा। नहीं नहीं, दैट इज नॉट प्रैक्टिकल, नो, दैट इज नॉट pragmatic. So what ideally you can answer is, if at all, if they say that would you lie on the behalf of a company, you can say, sir, it depends if it is in the larger interest of the organization. If it is in the larger interest of the organization and the society, first, right? In a larger interest of the society and the organization, then I will think over it before uh, I take a decision. But if it harms the society more, if it is very harmful for the society, sir, I will probably not lie for the company. Got it? That should be a very pragmatic, practical kind of an answer, and not an emotional kind of an answer. Because don't go with emotions. No, 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 no. That's a very, very typical question they ask you about the ethical wala question. Ethics. How will you follow this ethical dilemma? Then then they will ask you about, do you for again for working professionals, freshers कोई पूछ सकता है, but working professional है, do you prefer to work in teams or do you prefer to work alone? Again, this is again a question that needs to be thought before you answer. Again, no emotional decision. No, 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 sir. Teams, only with teams. I'm a very good team player. Only with teams. नहीं, only with teams नहीं होगा. If you have got a research kind of activity, you have got a creative kind of, let's say, for example, you are designing some designing something for your organization for a particular product. You are a brand manager and you are designing something. So then you need to sit down, calm, quiet, peacefully, and think over it. Right? If you're thinking of some kind of a say advertisement campaign and all that, advertisement कुछ एक script के बारे में सोच रहे हो, you need to sit down alone, think and do it. Right? If you're working on data, you're doing some data analysis and all that, you need to sit down quietly alone and do this analysis and work on that. But when you're working on projects and all that, then you cannot say that I'll work alone. I need to work on with team. So be careful. No, when the panel member is asking you a question, he has the knowledge of both the sides. So you should be careful when he's asking you questions about, do you like to, or would you prefer to work in a team or with alone? You can say it depends on the kind of work that I'm involved with, but mostly I'm a team player and I love to communicate, and I have a strong interpersonal skills. So working with teams is what I enjoy and I'm very good at. But certain things, certain jobs which requires me to work on my own, I'm also very comfortable and I can sit down and I can focus on my work alone and I can also work on that. So it depends on the kind of work or project that I'm currently involved with. So I'm comfortable in both the situations. Right? Be careful. Now, I remember in one of those interviews a long back, when I was faced, I was an I was a candidate. So an interviewer asked me, uh, "Do you like your mom or your dad more? Whom do you love more, your mom or dad?" यार ये कैसा सवाल? Whom do you love more, your mom or dad? I said, "Sir, they are my parents. I love them both. Whom do you love a little more?" I said, "Sir, it's like asking me if I love the front wheel of my two-wheeler or the rear wheel of my two-wheeler. I cannot survive without one of them. For me to survive, for me to grow, I need both. So I love both of them immensely, and I've never thought of less and more. They are my creators, and I equally love and respect them. Got it? So sometimes the interviews will try to fox you. They ask a typical question. Well, I have also asked during interviews. Tell us two things about whom do you love the most? mom or dad. There are some, if it is girls, they will normally say dad. If boys, they will normally say mom. Not generally, I didn't say that they will say this, but normally that's the way they say. Now, one of the candidates says, she was a girl candidate, and she says dad. I said, so tell us two things about your mom because of which you like your dad a little more and mom that 0.0001% less. And the candidate started bad mouthing that my mom does not understand me. Uh, uh, मेरे पापा जरा 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 ओपन है, like he gives more liberty. मम्मी the conservative है और मुझे उतना freedom देती नहीं है. Now, my friends, do you understand what the candidate was doing? अरे यार, bad mouthing a mother. And I said, okay, very good. And I heard that. I said, well, right in the beginning, when I asked you, uh, no, it was an outstation kind of an interview. So I asked her, you have come from this place. When did you reach? She said yesterday evening I reached. And with whom you have come here to this place? No, she said with my mom and all. My dad could not accompany us, so my mom and I have come. And so then she had told me all this thing, and even for the interview, my mom has come and she's there outside waiting for me and all. Now look at this: a candidate is bad mouthing the mother who has traveled all the distance from that place to here with her daughter so that she can appear for the interview. Then she's here outside waiting for her daughter, praying probably for her to get through. And the candidate inside the interview room is bad mouthing the mother. My friends, understand this is how interviewers will travel. This reflects amply on your attitude. और एक सवाल टिपिकल सवाल पूछा जाता है. Those who stay in college hostels and all, BTech particularly, this BTech guys. Uh, you studied in this college. It was studied in this college for 4 years. The campus interview. Yes, sir. Mm, well, what? Tell us two things, wonderful things about this college which you cherish, you will always cherish, and you loved it. So they will take a little bit of time, and then they'll say these some two things. But they normally say about professor, and they talk about the infrastructure, that is the gym and the uh, swimming pool that they have at the college. And the moment you ask them about, okay, if you have to give a suggestion to your management about two, three things which your college needs to improve upon, to needs to little work upon, the college needs to better it, what it would be. Immediately they jump in with answer, and they have a list of complaints about the college, which is not good in their college. Careful, careful. Is it actually they want to know bad things about your college? Nay. They are trying to judge you, your attitude. The college where you studied for 4 years, which made you an engineer, because of whom you are sitting right here in front of us facing the interview, you have started bad mouthing them. Be careful. So these are all trap questions which the interviewers will ask. Right? Now, suppose you say that's over, huh? The next one. In the hobbies, if you mention, just yaad aa gaya, so usse bola. Reading books. If you said reading books, be very, very careful what type of books you read, which authors you read, which are the other authors. What is it that what is the typical thing in the writing of that author which draws you to it? What is the genre that you like to read? You like to read more. Name few books of that author. Careful about this. Interviewers want to know your depth, nothing superficial on the superficial level. Okay, then uh, they'll ask you what kind of a person you are outside the college or outside the workplace. What does it mean? Means inside the workplace or inside the college, there is a certain kind of decorum that you have to maintain. There is a certain kind of behavior that you have to exhibit. What kind of person you are beyond your office outside your office, beyond your office premises, or outside your college, beyond your college or beyond your office, what kind of a person you are. Remember, do not say I'm very, very chilled kind of a person. I relax and I let go and I chill out as a kuch nahi. I'm the same kind of a person outside my workplace and the college because that's a part of my attitude. I'm very friendly with people. I like to sit down and listen to some songs. Sometimes I like to hang out with my friends. If there is any kind of avenue where I can get along with people, do something, might be some kind of a philanthropic work, I also get involved in that. Once in a while with friends, if I also go out to watch movies and I like to dine out sometimes in the evening and all, and that's how I am. Got it? So there should not be two different personalities. It should seem that you are the same person, what you are in the office, which you are trying to exhibit or what you are trying to paint an image. You are the same person outside. You are not two different personalities or not two different people. No dual personality. Hai? No dangerous with that. Uh, and one last question which I have jotted down is uh, give us a situation where you have exhibited your leadership quality. You talked about leadership, or you talked about communication, and you talked about let's say might be interpersonal skills and all. So they will ask you, give us an instance where you exhibited your leadership quality or whatever qualities or skill that you mentioned. You exhibited that. So you should be able to, because see, in the interview hall, right then and there, within those few seconds, you cannot think of anything immediately. So beforehand, you need to do all these things. Sit down, prepare, and then you can. Do not try to fake things. Like one of them, in one of these interviews, he asked me, uh, "Do you booze drinks?" So he asked me. I said, "No, sir, I don't." He said, "Is that an honest answer?" I said, "Absolutely, sir, because I have a little different kind of an opinion towards life. I think I want to live life in complete sense, enjoy life, its challenges and its beauty in complete sense. And I feel a bit of getting into some kind of a having some alcohol and all that would not make me completely enjoy it in all my senses. So that's kind of, and I'm a little health freak, so anything that is not in favor of my health is what I always avoid. So neither I smoke nor I have any habit of alcohol nor I have any kind of substance abuse. I don't do anything. Sir. But if suppose I would have had मैं alcohol ले रहा होता, how would I have answered? Yes, sir. Once in a while with friends, I know my limit and not a regular one, but yeah, once in a week or twice in a week when I'm along with my friends, but not in my as a regular one in my room. But yeah, I go to a bar and I and my friend have one or two, and then I come back, but not a regular one. हो सकता है. A straightforward answer, right? In one of the interviews, I suppose that was way back 2004, 5. Uh, One of the panel members was a little relaxed. It was almost the end of the interview, and he asked me, uh, "Do you have a girlfriend?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "Why?" I said, "Sir, कोई मुझे पसंद करता ही नहीं है, तो मैं क्या करूं?" Now, what was that? I answered the question. I answered the question. One. Second, I exhibited a bit as a sense of humor also. I exhibited a sense of humor by saying that, sir, क्या करूं मुझे कोई पसंद करता ही. And I also answered the question smartly without trying to be like, "Mm, no, sir, no, sir," no. Or not trying to be like that, no, Milson Boons wala, yes, sir, I have, and all. No, no, not kind of. So, no, you have to be smart enough. You have to be quick thinker. You have to think on your feet, as I said, and you have to handle such kind of questions. Panel members, as I will always be, they will ask you questions, something around five, six. The first set of question will be 3 to 4 questions. Listen carefully. First 3, 4 questions will be from your academic background. If you're a fresher, if you're a working professional, it will be from the industry that you are associated with. Second set of questions will be mostly related to current affairs. 1 or 2 questions will be 1 or 2 will be from the current affairs, and there will be a little bit of a discussion on that. Whatever opinion you give, there will be a little bit of a discussion on that. And the third set of questions that will ask you are these HR questions. So normally this is the construct around uh, 7, 8 questions, some 7, 8 questions in total they will be asking you, and the interview will be something around 15 minutes. क्योंकि बहुत सारे कैंडिडेट होते हैं, ज्यादा टाइम लेते नहीं है. इफ दे फिनिश योर इंटरव्यू क्विकली, नथिंग टू बी स्ट्रेस्ड कि शायद होगा नहीं, लंबा खींच खींच रहा है तो अच्छा है, बिकॉज दैट्स अ पॉजिटिव साइड. They are probably interested in you. So not that if it gets over fast they are not interested in you, ऐसे बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. Because this the interviewers, there also is a look, बैठ के सवाल पूछना at a stretch is also takes a toll on your patience, takes a toll on your patience. Seems that it's a very good, easy job to sit on the other side of the table and सवाल पूछे जाओ, सामने वाले को आंसर करना पड़ता है. No, no, it takes a toll on the patience. So that's why they sometimes get tired and they might not want to ask many questions. बस 3, 4 क्वेश्चन पूछ लिए, पता चले कि हाँ ये बंदा में दम, इसको ले लो. So they might also ask you to wait also. Fine. So that was all that I had. Now over to your questions. All the questions that you have on your mind, please do ask. I'll tell you broadly what to answer. I'll not put my words into your mouth. I'll not put my words into your mouth. I'll tell you broadly how you should answer those questions. Uh, or more, I'll tell you the no-nos, things which you should not say. I'll mostly take that. Please go ahead. The previous video I had session, I had asked you to come prepared with any kind of questions that you would have in your mind. I'll give you my questions, and then I will answer your questions if you have anything on it. So please do.
So in an introduction,
Yeah.
do you have to answer your all the means what you're working, and is it like you'll have to add also like what you're working and your job profile as well, and what
You
kind
are
of
a
details you
working
have?
professional. You're a
Yes, I'm.
working professional.
Yes.
Yes. So then, in your as a working professional, that should be your mainstay. Not about your strengths and hobbies and all those. Rather, focus on your working, your job, your profession, the kind of job responsibilities that you have. Do you work with a team, and what kind of projects you generally take, and what kind of skill sets you have picked up on in the journey. So that you should more focus on. For freshers, just in order to little stretch the time, they might focus on hobbies and strengths and all those kind of things. But as a working professional, you need not.
Think so. And I have another question, sir. Like I cleared my GMAT, and I don't
Mhm.
want to go to abroad. So right now I filled
Mhm.
for like I just want to take admission in Indian universities. So like what should I answer and like how shall I convince them?
You say, I want to stay in my own country. Then why did you appear for the GMAT? So because I know most of these IIMs and all, they also accept GMAT scores. I just wanted to be sure. So I appeared for the CAT and also for the GMAT. You appeared for the CAT also, no? No, or
Yes,
GMAT.
yes, sir, for CAT and GMAT.
So you can say, no? So I appeared for both. My objective was not to appear for GMAT and go abroad. It's not necessary because I suppose a family member might ask you to confuse you, but it is not necessary that if I were given a GMAT means I definitely want to go outside. No, you said no, sir. My plan was never to go abroad. It was just to ensure that I get into good college. So I appeared for both the CAT and the GMAT because I know the colleges accept both the scores. That's why.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Punyansh, any other question?
No, sir, from my side, everything is clear, sir. If anything is there, I'll just text you, sir.
Sure. Shanti Swaraj, you have any questions?
Sir, I'll ask you over when I'll think of one. Sir.
Fine. So I suppose no, that was a little heavy. So you need little time for all this, what I have said to
It was
sink in.
fruitful, sir, for us because we
Sorry.
all are going to appear for interviews, so it was very fruitful for us, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Punyansh. I sincerely want that this session should be of no, utmost useful to you, and you should be able. It should help you in making it through the interview. So let the things sink in, whatever I have said, but please
Sure, sir.
ensure that whatever I have said, please sit down and have a self-awareness workbook for yourself. Write down all these things. Please do not slacken your effort. If you have reached this level and from this level you again come return back to zero, no, इससे बड़ी दुख की बात और कुछ नहीं हो सकता है. So please do not slacken your effort. Please sit down and all those things that I told you, it is it's there, it is being recorded. You can play it, hear the recording and the questions that I have been telling you. You can jot it down and you can sit down and write everything about yourself so that in the interview hall, you are completely prepared. You go as a very well prepared candidate and not someone who's suddenly taken by surprise and you fumble for this. Right? Sure, guys. Thank you. See you in the next session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.